Just giving our legs a little stretch out. And rest back in the hands if that's okay. If not, who's saying wrists? Yeah. Feel free to lean on bolsters or just not. That's fine too. But if it feels okay, and let's just give our toes a little point and flex here. And then maybe taking the feet slightly wider, and we'll take our toes out to the side, and then turn the toes inwards. And we'll just do that a few times and see if you can make that movement kind of start right up in the hips. So we're getting that full rotation, or as much of a rotation as we can, right from the hips. You might feel that kind of quite a little bit more strongly, depending on how tight your hips feel. I can feel it right at the top there. In and out. Oh, and then let's come back to the center here, and then sit up if you can. Let's do a little bum walk. So we're going to see if we can lift one bum cheek up, and we're going to shuffle it forwards, and then lift the other side up and shuffle it forwards. If you are further on in the pregnancy, this might feel rather tricky, in which case maybe a couple of steps. But if you can, we'll see if we can make our way towards the front of our mat or thereabouts. And you want to be thinking about lifting the hip and then pushing it forwards, rather than kind of just wiggling, waddling. I can see ya. So we're going to lift the hip and set it down. Lift the hip and set it down. And then once we've done a few forwards, let's see if we can go back as well. So again, you want to lift and pull it back. Lift and pull it back. Lift and pull it back. I know it's not necessarily the most comfortable thing, depending on how low babies are. Or impossible. That's fine. Yeah. It's not going to happen, but that's okay. But it can be really useful when you're getting towards the end of your pregnancy to help your babies to move down further into pelvic. Anyway, here we are today. So we'll roll the shoulders back a little bit, and if it feels comfortable to take the hands down, we can, or lean your elbows on that bolster, and then maybe just slightly lifting the chest a little bit. So draw the shoulder blades back. Drop the shoulders down a little bit if you can. We could lift the chin very slightly, but we don't need to strain the neck or be too strong with that moving the head back movement. And maybe just taking a slightly deeper breath, just feeling that space across the chest. And a slow breath out. And then we'll bring chin back towards the chest and lifting back up from there. If it feels comfortable to, let's come into a little bit more of a cross-leg position, or kneeling over a bolster might also work quite well. And then let's start with some circling. So just taking the hands onto the knees, and we'll circle around the hips here. So as we do that, you might want to close the eyes, just find kind of a gentle, kind of rhythmical kind of movement. Maybe just starting to encourage a deeper breath in through the nose. And as we breathe out, just soft mouth, soft little gap between the lips. Just blowing that breath gently out and away. And then you're on the creaky floor.
I know, I was
okay.
gonna say.
And yeah, come on, crack on, 39 weeks, let's go. And if you've gone a few one direction, let's switch directions if you haven't already. And then making our way back towards the center. Let's bring our palms together here, interlace the fingers. Let's press the palms forward. So as we do that, we could maybe let the spine round a little bit. We could rock over the tailbone a touch, and maybe let chin move towards the chest. Just pressing the palms forward. And then starting to lift up from here, so rocking forward, lifting the palms up towards the sky. We'll reach upwards, and then maybe take a gentle little sway side to side as well. Keep pressing the palms towards the sky as we sway gently side to side here. Lovely. And then just coming back to the center, let's turn the palms maybe towards one another, and then come back to that circling, this time circling the hands, the knuckles, up over the head. And we maybe might feel that a little higher up the back, around the shoulders. And again, switching directions. And then coming back to the center, let's release the hands and just gently circle the wrists all the way back down. Let's take our right hand down to the side here. Do feel free to jump up on a block. If it's starting to feel a little achy in the hips, sitting up on a block here might be a nice option. Do you have a block? If you don't want to, that's also absolutely fine. You really don't have to. Okay. Do we need more scaffolding? We're okay. All right. Okay. So we'll take the right hand down. And then sweep the left down all the way up to the side. And then sending that right hand just a slight little bit out to the side of our body as we reach over and across. And then maybe letting that top hand drop down in front of the face. Let's sweep the left hand out to the side as we lift the right arm up. Nice deep breath in as we reach. And exhale as we come over to the side. Pressing the ground away slightly through that left hand. Let's do that again, so letting the top arm come down in front of the face, and we'll sweep over and across, reaching the left arm up and over. And then the top arm coming down, and send that left hand out to the side as the right arm lifts up and over. Perfect. Very nice. Bringing that hand down in front of the face again. Let's take both arms wide and high, reaching all the way up. Let fingertips touch, and exhale. Blowing the breath away again as the hands come down through that center line. Let's take one palm on top of the other here, just in front of your bum. And then inhale, we're going to gently let the palms lift upwards to the top of that inhale. At the top of the breath, we're going to turn the palms down, exhale, blowing gently out of the mouth as the palms press down. We're just going to continue that gentle little movement with the breath. So don't worry about if we're all in sync or not, doesn't matter, but matching the movement with your own breath. And feel free to close the eyes. Slowly breathing in as the palms rise upwards, keeping the palms open and soft. Feeling that little turn of inhale to exhale and gently pressing the palms down. Feel that turn from exhale to inhale, rising back up through that center line. As we come to the top of the breath, turning the palms down and pressing back down towards the ground. So just continue with that same movement and breath. And if you're in, the last maybe last 35 weeks plus, then as we breathe out and as we bring the palms down, you might just play with seeing if we can add a little bit of that downward pressure down towards the pelvic floor. We're not being strong about it, but just playing with that sensation a little bit. And if you're a little earlier on than that, absolutely fine too. The same thing, we can maybe not press down, but think of the softening towards the ground. So that sense of like spreading out towards the ground as we breathe out. Inhale, gently rising upwards. Feel the base of the body just spreading, pelvic floor softening as we breathe out and down. And just letting our attention just move back towards our breath. Whenever our head gets busy and we get caught up in thoughts, no problem. This is how it is to be human. Absolutely no problem. But just guiding our attention back to our breath when we can. Just let this be our only job right now. And then maybe the next time the palms are face down and they come towards the end of that exhale, let's take one hand to our bump, one hand to our heart. Stay with that same rhythm of the breath that we've cultivated there. So just slow breath in, soft, slow breath out. And just see if we can feel our body expanding as we breathe in, expanding against our hands, expanding out into the space around us. Every time we breathe out, gentle softening, maybe that sense of kind of the contact with the ground, that's spreading out, being held by the earth. And just relaxing the jaw a little bit if we need to or when we can. Maybe just checking in with the corners of the eyes, across the forehead. Noticing any sensation or movement underneath our palms, maybe feeling your heart beating, movement from baby. Just following the breath. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. I'm breathing out, I know I am breathing out. Just right now, this is your only job. If it feels okay, when you're ready to, let's move both hands over our belly, thumb and index fingers touching, spread the other fingers out a little bit. And then as we take our next breath in, let's reach our arms forward this time and all the way up overhead. We might follow that shape with our eyes as well if you want to, or keep the head forwards. And then exhaling, let's draw the elbows wide, bring the arms down towards our sides a little bit. And then when you're ready again, inhale, reaching the arms all the way back up overhead. We'll bring the palms to touch. And exhale, drawing the hands back down towards our heart. And back over baby, thumb, index fingers touching. Let's do that a couple more times. So inhale, sweeping the arms forward and high. Exhale, strong arms as we pull the elbows down, shoulders come down as well. Maybe reach towards the floor. Inhale, arms forward or wide as we lift all the way back up overhead. Fingertips come to touch and exhale down through that center line. Bringing that energy to our heart and back to our belly. Let's do one more for now. Inhale, lifting all the way up. Exhale, elbows wide as we come all the way towards the ground. Inhale, arms forward or wide, lifting all the way back up. Arms touching, exhale, hands to heart. Back to baby. Let's take a deeper breath in here. This time as we breathe out, let it be a sigh, a sound. And then bring the hands to rest, maybe on legs or down by the sides. And just let your left ear move towards your left shoulder, not shoulder to ear. Sitting up nice and tall through the spine if you can. Don't have to be like a soldier, but just fairly upright. You might want to reach your right arm just ever so slightly away from you, out to the side. And then turning your right palm up if it's out to the side, so just turn the arm around a little bit. And then turn the palm back down and gently bring that back in and head to center. Right ear to right shoulder, both shoulders are heavy, upright through the rest of the spine. Maybe the left hand just gently reaches out to the side. Take a deeper breath here. Slow breath out. And the palm gently up towards the ceiling or as far as it'll go. Again, a little breath here or a bigger breath here. Slow breath out. And relaxing the hand down and bringing the head back to center. Let's take chin to chest. And a little bit of a deeper breath into the back of the shoulders. Feel that space across the upper back maybe. And again, maybe just letting the breath out be a sigh, a sound, whatever comes along. And then maybe with the tip of your nose, start to take that out to the side. We'll start to draw a big circle with the tip of your nose here. So just gently out to the side, up to the top, lengthening through the front of the throat. A little bit as we come over the top, down the other side. And back to chin towards the chest. Same thing in the opposite direction when you've completed that circle, so taking the head out to the side. And up to the top. Back out to the side. Bring the head back to center when you're ready. Give the shoulders a little roll back here. And then let's bring the hands out in front. Give our fingers a little wriggle. Let's lift the fingers up, press the palms slightly forwards. And then fingers forward again, wriggle, wriggle. Tuck the fingers in and bring the knuckles down. Now we're going to move in a minute. And then wriggle the fingers forward. Turn the palms up, fingers down again. And then palms up, tuck all the fingers in, knuckles to our shoulders, circle the elbows. Nice big circles. And then when you're ready, you'll let the arms come back down. Let's reach our legs out in front again. Jump off the block if you're on one. And again, maybe give our legs a little shake. If you can, take a gentle fist with your hands. Let's give our legs a little tap down. All the way down towards our ankles. Off the inside, or sorry, reach. And then around back as well. When you're ready, let's just rest back in the hands or onto the bolster with your elbows. Bring the feet slightly in. We'll keep a nice hip distance apart between the knees if that's comfortable. Keep it closer if there's any pelvic pain, but further apart if it's possible. And then we'll just let the knees rock side to side. So just gently pressing the knees towards the ground, doesn't matter if they reach now or ever, and just rolling over your sit bones a little bit, letting the outer hip kind of lift. And we might even kind of gently press it forwards as well. Side to side. And then when you're ready, let's take the knees over to one side, bring the feet around a little bit, and we'll help ourselves around on two hands and knees. Now, if your wrists are sensitive, please do use your bolster underneath your forearms instead. So we don't need to stress anything. Have a blanket underneath your knees, if that's helpful as well, or wrists on blankets, whatever works for you. And then let's just let the hips kind of sway side to side here. So again, knees hip distance apart, maybe slightly wider if it's comfortable. And just letting the knees, the hips sway side to side. And we could even lean into that a little bit. So maybe as the hips come over to one side, just pause, take a little breath. And then to the other side. And then maybe we can make that into a little bit more of a circling. So we can circle the hips around the mat a little bit more. And leaning into any places that feel good to lean into. Following what feels intuitive for your body this evening. Again, coming back to our breath when we need to. And switching directions if you haven't already. And then maybe tucking the toes under behind you and having the knees slightly wider than the feet, if that makes sense. So your toes are slightly close together and then pressing the hips back towards the wall behind. And then just gently kind of easing forwards, maybe shoulders over wrists or shoulders over elbows. And then again, gently pressing back towards the wall behind, lengthening through the lower back a little bit. And then forwards. And pressing the ground away so we're not collapsing between the shoulder blades too much. And then maybe the next time we come back through that kind of midpoint, that tabletop kind of place. Just bring the knees perhaps to where they're comfortable. And then really focusing on the tailbone, could we just tuck and untuck the tailbone? So see if we can keep it really teeny tiny small, so we're not kind of letting the ribs get too involved just yet. Can we tuck the tailbone down, point it towards the floor, and then release that, and let the tailbone then lift slightly towards the ceiling. So we're finding that tilt from the pelvis, we're not driving it with our ribs. So see if you can just really isolate that lower part of the spine and find that tilting from the pelvis, in the pelvis. And then maybe we could start to let that become a little bit of a bigger movement. So maybe the next time the tailbone points down, we could continue to let that move into the upper spine as well. So maybe chin towards the chest a little bit and really lift between the shoulder blades. And then slowly from the tailbone, so start the movement there, let the tailbone start to lift a little bit. And then rather than, we're not collapsing down, but really think about reaching the heart forwards. We're lengthening a little bit through the front of the body. We're not just kind of sinking into the shoulder blades. So again, starting from the tailbone, let that movement ripple through the spine. So we start to lift baby and belly, press the ground away. And just soften the effort of that. And then inviting the tailbone to gently lift. And maybe the shoulders move back. And then can we come back through the middle and bring all our attention back to our tailbone, so lower part of the spine again, and then make a big circle just with your tailbone. So can we draw a circle on the wall behind us with our tailbone here? So again, as incredible as they are, let's just keep the ribs fairly quiet for now. They'll have their turn. But let's see if we can make it about that movement from the pelvis. And once you've done a few in one direction, can we go in the opposite direction as well? And see if you can hit every number on the clock, every point on the compass. And then coming back towards the center. And if you haven't already, let's take our elbows down towards the floor here. Give your fingers a little stretch and a squeeze. And then turning the palms upwards and then drawing the hips back towards the wall behind. We're not going to go very far. And imagine that your forearms are stuck to the floor, but go as far as you can. So forearms are stuck down, and we're just going to draw the hips back as far as they'll go. And just maybe feel a little bit of a lengthening, a stretching around the armpits and across the backs of the shoulders maybe. And then slowly just softening the effort of that. And let's come forwards again. Let's maybe bring the hands back towards the floor here. You can be on, yeah, actually, let's not look. Let's come up to the knee in there. 2 minutes sense to wrists. And we'll give our wrists another little circle around. And a flex and a squeeze. Lovely. Let's lift up from here. Bring a foot forwards. If it's helpful, we're going to press ourselves all the way up to standing. And let's just find We won't be on there. And then let's give our hips a nice circle around here. So again, make it as big or as small as you'd like to. We can let the rest of our body kind of get involved as well here. Okay, and in the opposite direction. And maybe that figure of 8 kind of shape. So eye on one side and the other. And reverse that shape if you can. And then making our way back towards the middle. Give our hands a little shake, our arms a little shake. Let's rock forward and back, toes to heels. Toes to heels. So just gently rocking forward and back over the feet, just lifting up onto our tippity tiptoes, and then maybe lifting the toes as we settle back into the heels. Good. And then can we go side to side? So let the feet come down, and can we let our feet move side to side? So again, keep the hips fairly still here. So can we really make this about the ankles and our feet doing some of the work here? Really important to keep that kind of movement, availability of movement in our feet and our ankles. It's kind of where everything starts, those kind of muscles, the ligaments, everything that joins up to our pelvic floor and our core and the whole system. So good to keep that mobile. And then maybe just bringing the feet, not together, but, you know, kind of hip distance. We're going to soften the knees a little bit, sit your hips slightly back behind you, and then see if you can kind of circle your knees. If it's helpful to take hands onto thighs or to the knees, we can. And just see if you can circle your knees around. So again, we're kind of getting into our ankles a little more. Across the feet can move if they need to. And then go in the opposite direction as well. And then making our way back up to standing. Let's take the arms out a little wider. You might need to in and out yourselves a little bit. So we'll take the arms out a little wider, and then we're going to isolate the upper body now. So keep the hips fairly still and see, and if, I know, if you're 38 weeks plus, this is going to be tricky, but let's see how we get on. So we're going to see if we can kind of shove, no, that's not a word. We're going to move our ribs over to one side a little bit, and then back to center, and then as if you're being pulled by your other hand, and we're shifting over to the side. So it's not a hip bump, we're shifting the ribs. So very slightly, very gently. It's going to feel, it might feel weird. So go move gently, and then over to the other side. Good, back to center and over to the other side. Nice. And then back to center. Good. Give it a little shimmy. We're going to bring our hands down by our sides. Let's bring the right hand down to our right thigh. Left arm lifting all the way up. Deep breath in. And then slowly breathing out. As we do, baby and belly, we're just going to hook to the spine as we come down. Slide that right hand down the outer thigh a little bit. So it's not a real collapse into it. Think about almost resisting that side bend. So baby and belly hug in, we're using that core muscle, those core muscles, they're still there, I promise. And then we're going to lift back up. Good, and switch sides. Inhale to lift. Breathing out as we exhale, baby and belly hug to spine. Lovely, and lifting all the way back up to the top. And let's let our arms come down by the sides. Lovely, let's lift up onto our tippity tiptoes again. See if we can hold it for a moment. And then hover the heels just a half a centimetre off the floor. Lift up again. And then hover the heels. It's a big balance. And then we're going to lift again. Really use those big toes. Whoa. And then hover the heels. This time we're going to let the heels land. Feel that kind of shift back, hips over heels. Lovely stuff. Toes stay down, but we're going to kick the hips over the heels, shoulders over the hips. And then let's take the arms all the way up towards the sky. Fingertips to touch, breathing out as we come down that center line. And again, deep breath in. We can maybe bend into the knees this time, press the ground away. Inhale. And exhale, blowing the breath away, hands down that center line. And again, deep breath in, press the ground away as we lift. And then this time, as the hands come down, let's maybe sit down on that imaginary little chair behind us. Palms might come together, and we're just going to pause and hold it here. Press the ground away as if you want to straighten your legs, but don't. Stick your toes down, press into your heels. We're going to take a stronger breath in as we meet more kind of effort. We're going to meet it with the breath. Slower breath out, good. And again, strong breath in. Exhale, hands down and lifting up through the legs. Very nice, good. Give it a little shake. Let's move our right foot forwards and we're going to have our left foot slightly back. So enough of a step that as we bend into that front knee, the knee can move over the ankle and, you know, we can kind of, there's enough space for that to happen, but not so much that it's kind of causing any kind of pain or sharpness. We don't want any of that. And have that back foot placed so that we can move the hips. So there's that movement available in the hips, out to the side and forwards. That front leg is going to stay pretty stable and as it is. And can we find that kind of movement of the hip side and front, side and front. Lovely. So come to face forwards. Knobbly bits of the hips are facing forwards like headlights. Bending into that front knee a little touch, pressing into that front foot as we lift the arms all the way up. Lovely, and maybe circle the arms back, soft elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale, lift all the way up. And then this time, we might take the hands down by the sides or to the hips and just lift the heart a little bit. And then as we sort of lift up there, we're going to sweep the arms forward. We're going to soften that back knee a little bit. You might even want to lift the back heel a little touch. And then see if you can tuck your tailbone forwards as we bring the fingertips to touch. So we're really finding that kind of cat shape again, rounding through the back. And then take the elbows wide and we can maybe point the tailbone back a little bit and we can lift the heart. And then again, keeping that back knee soft as we round through the spine, fingertips to touch. Let's do that again. Inhale, elbows wide, lifting the heart, lengthening the front of the body, tailbone lifts. And exhale, tailbone tucks under. Good, as we breathe out. Very nice. Lift up towards the sky again, so we'll lift all the way up. Lovely, and then this time, let's take our hands back down to our hips, and then we're going to hinge forwards. So hinging from the hips, keep the spine long. We're going to feel a little bit more going on in that front leg. That back foot is there as an anchor, but all that power and strength through that front foot. Keep pressing through that right foot as if you want to straighten your leg, but don't just yet. And now you can lift it all the way back up towards the top. Very nice. Let's switch sides. So we're going to take the right foot back, the left foot forwards. Have your feet on slightly different tracks. So we're not crossing our legs underneath us. We have that stability a little bit more for the balance. And again, we want that kind of ease of movement in our hips. So if we bend into our front knee and we keep that leg, that front leg fairly as it is, but still find that movement. Hips out to the side, hips forward. Hips out to the side, hips forward. Good. Nice. And there's no pain in that back knee, it's happy as you like. Good. Lovely. So as we come to face forward again, headlights, shiny headlights facing forwards, bend into that front knee a little touch. We're going to press down through that front foot as if we want to straighten the leg, but don't. And then let's sweep the arms all the way up. Nice floaty fingertips, always the tallest person underneath that beam. And then we're going to sweep the arms all the way back, every single time. And again, arms back. And again, inhale, lifting all the way up. And exhale, arms all the way back. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, lifting all the way up. Exhale, sweep the arms back. Hands to the hips this time. Let's lengthen through that front leg a touch. You might want to turn the heels slightly forwards, the toes slightly forwards. And then, where are we going? Shoulders back. And we're going to lift the heart just a little bit. So let the tailbone untuck here, just nice and free, extending through that back leg a little bit. We might feel the front of that right hip lengthening. And then we're going to round. So soften your right knee and then tuck the tailbone forwards, chin to chest perhaps, fingertips to touch in front. Then pull your elbows wide like a cactus and lift the chest. We can lengthen through that front leg, through the back leg again. And then rounding, soften the back knee, really tuck the tail forward. So softening that back knee is going to allow more movement in the tailbone and from the lower spine. So as you inhale, we can lengthen and lift. And as we exhale, rounding forwards. Really tuck the tail under. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, pull the elbows back, lift the heart, and then exhale. And then lifting all the way up this time, we'll lift up towards the sky. And then bring the arms down by the sides or to the hips. And then we're going to hinge forward here. So you might feel like your left bottom cheek is kind of doing more. It's kind of switched on. And we're kind of really using that front foot, pressing the ground away. The back foot is there just as a little support and an anchor. Lovely. And then pressing into your left foot now to lift all the way back up. And then step the feet together. Give everything a little jingle jangle again. Lovely. Let's rock forward and back, toes to heels, toes to heels. Very nice. And then lifting all the way up onto tippity tiptoes. Okay. Lower the heels, hover 0.5 centimeter. And then lifting again. Use those big toes, spread the toes out, and hover. And lifting up again. And then, oh, well done. Okay, it's like your left calf. You can cramps in the leg. And then, sorry. And then we're going to lower the heels all the way to the floor. Good. Feel that shift back, hips over heels. Lovely. Let's bend into the knees. Press into the feet to lift. And again, sweep the arms all the way back if you can. Squeeze the shoulder blades. And again, bend into the knees. Press the ground away to lift. And exhale down. And then inhale, lifting all the way up. This time, we might bring the palms together, hands down towards the heart. We're going to sit down into our little chair behind us. So we want the knees to move, to be over, maybe not over the ankles, but they're not ahead of the toes. So if you can't see your toes, I want you to back it up and send your bum back behind you. Take a deeper breath again as we meet more kind of intensity. We need to meet it with the power of the breath. So nice, slow, deep breath in through the nose. Strong breath out. Lengthening that exhale as well. Good, and then press through the feet and lift. We'll take the arms down by the sides, maybe lift right up onto your tippy tiptoes again. Very nice, and then lower the heels back down. Let's keep our right hand down again, left arm lifting up, deep breath in. As we exhale, baby and belly hook to the spine as we move over to the side. Inhale back up to the top, switching sides, and exhale up. Inhale back up to the top, both arms reaching, palms or fingertips touching. We'll bring the hands through towards the heart. Let's take our elbows out left to right here. Slightly soft in the knees. Let's keep the thumbs kind of center of the chest-ish so that we're not doing that. Let's see if we can get our upper body to turn to the side, just as far as it wants to go, and then come back to center. So inhale at the center and move with the exhale. Inhale back to center. Let's do one more each side. Exhale to the other side. Inhale to center. Exhale round. Inhale to center. Interlace the fingers. Soft knees as we press the palms forward. Maybe round through the spine again. Lifting, lengthening through the legs. Send the palms up towards the sky. Get rid of that thing. Reaching up and step to the side. And then we'll release the hands and again, circle the wrists all the way back down. Very nice. Give our shoulders a good roll back here. Lovely. We're going to come back down to the floor. So stepping a leg back if that's useful. Come down, legs together if you prefer, of course. And then let's come back briefly to our hands and knees here, or elbows on the bolster. And then let's send our right leg back behind us. So we're just going to lengthen through that back leg, press into the heel a little bit as we lengthen through the back of the leg. Inhale, just gently rocking forward over the ball of the right toes there. Baby and belly hook to the spine with the exhale. So inhale first of all, of course, and exhale, maybe lifting that right leg away from the floor, or as if. Doesn't have to happen. We can just imagine how it might. And then bring that right knee back down to the ground. We're going to do the same on the left side. So left toes back, press into the heel. Good. And then gently rocking forwards. Press the ground away. Baby and belly lift to the spine. Inhale first. Exhale. as we lift that left leg away from the floor. Press into both arms, hands equally. And then bringing the knee back down towards the ground. Let's move both hands over towards the right-hand side of our mat a little bit. Doesn't have to be much, just a touch. And then we're going to rest on our right forearm and reach our left arm a little further away. As we do that, keep drawing the hips towards the wall behind you a little bit. And then lifting up from there, and we'll do the same to the other side. So we're going to walk the hands round to the left, rest down on your left forearm, and reach your right arm in that diagonal line. And as we do, we might encourage the hips slightly back towards the wall behind. And when you're ready, lifting up from there. If you can, we can bring the hands kind of together, thumbs together underneath our nose. If it feels better, you can absolutely do this on the elbows, certainly on a bolster if hands is uncomfortable. Take the knees a little wider again if it's comfortable, and then we're going to take our right arm all the way up towards the sky. And then as we breathe out, I want you to reach your right arm forward and sit your hips back towards the wall behind. Just as far as they'll go. They don't have to go all the way to your heels. Let's do that twice more. So inhale, right arm lifts up and out. And exhale, arm forward, hips back. One more time on this side. Inhale, right arm lifts. Exhale, arm forward, hips back. Switching sides. So right hand comes down, move forwards a little bit so hips are over or in line with the knees. And then left arm lifting all the way up to the sky. And then arm forward, hips back. Again, inhale to reach up and out, to let the hips shift as well. Exhale, arm forward, hips back. One more time. Inhale, lifting all the way up. And exhale, arm forward. Bring the hands down to the floor or elbows down, and just let the hips sit back over the heels as far as they want to go. Take the knees as wide apart as you need to. And just let there be space for baby and belly. Maybe the head reaches the floor, maybe use a bolster, maybe use your arms to support the head. So no pressure in the wrists. See if you can find a place where you can let your shoulders ease away from the spine a little bit. And again, just taking your attention down towards the pelvic floor. We're not squeezing or trying to, manipulate that in any way, but again, can you just feel the movement of the breath? Slow, steady inhale. Slow, steady exhale. And there might be, you might feel that response in the pelvic floor because it moves in unison with the diaphragm. So there's a lift and a releasing every breath. Feel free to stay here for longer. If this is a comfortable place, you could bring the bolster underneath you. If this is where you want to land for Shavasana, feel free to do that. You could take the bolster underneath your chest and let your head rest down on it. It might feel a little constrained if it's bigger, in which case feel free to adjust and we can come to a comfortable place to lie down, whether that's on your back, on your side, however you want to be. But if this is a good option for you, feel free to stay as you are. But be as supported as you can be, so grab any extra bolsters if you need, extra blankets if you need, anything. Please wave, and I will bring you. Are you okay with windows open? Yeah. Yeah, me to close something. If you need anything else, please be as comfortable as you can be. Fine tune your comfort. Have your legs supported. So just easing into rest. Maybe again, just tuning back into our breath here. We might take a deeper breath together. Nice slow deep breath in through the nose. And letting the exhale be a sigh, a sound, whatever it needs to be. And then just inviting the natural movement of the breath to return. Letting each exhale be an invitation to let your body settle towards the ground. Starting to let our body unwind. Inviting ourselves to surrender. Not in a sense of giving up, of course, but just surrendering to the movement of our breath. Surrendering to what we have no control over. Letting gravity ease us towards the ground. Letting our body be held by the earth. This is your only job. Inviting yourself to spread out, to take up space. How is it to not have to hold yourself up? To feel yourself supported. No effort. Without you having to do anything to make it happen. The movement of your breath moving through your body. Through every fiber, every cell. Every breath, a gentle massage for all the cells and fibers and parts of your body. You and your baby gently rocked by the rhythm of your breath. Nothing else you need to be doing, nowhere else you need to be right now. Every breath, an invitation to be held by the ground. To let go of what isn't needed. To soften the grip of anything we might be holding. Every breath, sending a wave of softness through your whole body. You and your baby held safely together. Trusting in the wisdom of your body. Knowing that your instincts are good. Knowing that it is safe to rest. Let yourself be held by the ground. And rocked by the rhythm of your breath. Just very slowly. Starting to bring attention back to your body. And maybe again, just noticing the gentle rhythm of your breath. And contact with the ground. Maybe a sense of the space around you. Noticing any movement or sensation from baby. You might want to give fingers and toes a little stretch and a wiggle. And keeping a sense of this quietness and stillness. Take a deeper breath again together. And maybe just letting the exhale be a sigh or a sound. And then when you're ready, maybe starting to gently press yourself back up to sitting. Briefly, as we close our practice for this evening, we're just going to a seat with some ease, whatever that looks like. And again, maybe just giving the shoulders a little loop back here. And then maybe bringing one hand to heart, one hand to baby, and just feeling the movement under your palms. Knowing that two hearts are beating here. And taking a moment to thank yourself for making the time and space to dedicate to yourself and to your pregnancy. And meeting ourselves as we are, honouring all the glorious imperfections, the glorious messiness of it all. May we be happy, may we all be healthy, may all beings live in peace and freedom. Thank you so much. And wishing you all a good night's sleep. And maybe some babies, who knows? But I hope to see you all next week, unless there's babies. And any questions, let me know, of course. See you soon. All the love. Thank you.